Hello everyone! In this video we're going to draw a kestrel. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the top part of the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. On the top left side, draw another circle as a guide for the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. First make 4 small marks to indicate the sides of the circle, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. This circle should be about half the size of the first circle. The edges of the two circles should touch. Inside the head circle, draw 2 intersecting lines. These are construction guides that will help you place the facial features later on. On the left side of the head, draw a small curved line as a guide for the beak. Pay attention to how small this line is in relation to the head. Connect the two circles together using a couple of lines to create the guide for the neck. The line on the left should be longer and more curved than the line on the right. On the bottom right side, make a small mark to indicate the lower half of the body. Connect the small mark to the circle using curved lines to create the guide for the lower half of the body. This line should be similar to a big arc on its side. Under the body, draw a short sloping line as a guide for the leg. Draw shorter lines on the sides to create the guides for the toes. On the bottom right side of the body, draw a long triangular shape as a guide for the tail. This shape is made up of 2 long sloping lines. Pay attention to how long the tail is in relation to the body. The top of the tail should be wider than the bottom. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Use the initial lines as guides to help you position the eye inside the head. Pay attention to the size of the eye in relation to the head. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the shape. Above the eye, draw a short sloping line for the brow. Draw a short curved line on top of the eye for the eyelid. Add a curved line at the bottom too. Keep these lines close to the shape of the eye. Inside the eye, off to the side, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. In the middle of the eye, draw another small circle for the pupil. Shade in the pupil. Don't overlap the tiny highlight circle as you shade the pupil. Add a couple short lines on the left side for structure. Use the small arc on the left side as a guide to draw the beak. Darken the top part of the arc and extend the left side to create the pointy tip of the beak. Curve the line to the right to create the mouth. Draw the mouth along the horizontal construction guide. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. The mouth should be close to the eye. Darken the bottom edge of the arc to create the bottom part of the beak. Add a series of short strokes on the right side for the feathery base of the beak. Curve the shape of the beak around the mouth. Inside the top part of the beak, draw a tiny circle for the nostril. Use the top circle as a guide to draw the rest of the head. Extend the line for the head farther to the left so that the shape is wider. Draw the front part of the head on top of the beak. Darken the top part of the initial circle. Draw a few short strokes under the beak for the feathers on the throat. Lightly sketch a long curved line across the body for the folded wing. When you get the position of the wing right, darken the line. Use a series of short strokes at the top for a feathery texture. Use wavy lines for the bottom edge of the wing. Extend the tip of the wing across the top of the tail. Draw a couple of short curved lines along the right edge of the body for feathers. Draw a few more short curved lines across the inside of the wing for more feathers. Draw a thin triangular shape inside the tail for the pointy tip of the wing. This shape should be similar to the guide for the tail. Draw a few sloping lines inside the shape for feathers. Use the lines under the body as guides to draw the foot. Lightly sketch the shape of the foot around the guideline. Curve the shapes around each short line to create the toes. Add a few short strokes at the top for the feathery base of the leg. When you get the shape of the foot and toes right, darken the lines. On the tip of each toe, draw a small curved, pointy shape for the talons. Keep the edges of the foot and toes close to the guidelines so that the shapes are thin. Make the talons big in relation to the toes. Add a sloping line on the left side for the visible part of another toe. On the left side, draw the visible sections of the other foot and toes the same way. Use the first foot as a template as you draw this foot. Draw the pointy talons on the tip of each toe. Don't overlap the first foot as you draw these shapes. Draw the backward pointing toe on the right side. Now use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the underside of the body for a feathery texture. Draw the thin shape of the tail along the initial triangular guideline. Add a few sloping lines inside the tail for feathers. Make the tail a bit thinner than the initial guideline. Connect the top part of the body to the folded wing. Draw a couple of curved lines under the feet to give the kestrel a rock to perch on. Don't overlap the feet as you draw these lines. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guidelines, it's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Inside the eye, use a value that's lighter than the pupil. Use a dark value on the bottom half of the head for a stripe-like pattern. Use a medium value for the top part of the head. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the feathers. Use horizontal strokes on the head and vertical strokes on the body. Use a light value on the left side of the body and a darker value on the right. Slowly and gradually add more value across the body. Use a medium value to shade the folded wing and tail. Add a few small dark sections across the body for the spot-like pattern. Draw a few spots on the underside of the body too. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. It's a good idea to use reference as you shade for a more accurate depiction of a kestrel. Use a medium value for the feet and a dark value for the talons. Use a slightly darker value throughout the body to create some shadows. Add a bit of value to the rock too. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the kestrel. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.